Yo, what's going on, people? Zap here, and what you're looking at is some Left 4 Dead 2 gameplay with myself, Wooly, and Eagle. We are playing on the Hive campaign. It's an add-on campaign made by a modder. It is basically a recreation of the Resident Evil movie from 2002, as well as Resident Evil Nemesis and Resident Evil the remake from the GameCube version. So, yeah, man, just throwing up some Left 4 Dead 2 gameplay in the background for you guys. Now, today I want to talk about my own personal choice in regards to picking whether to get an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, because I know just a couple of you guys have asked me this in the past, just what made me get the PS4 over the Xbox One. And the answer is very, very simple, and that is there are more games that I'm actually particularly interested in on the PS4 than there are on the Xbox One. Um, let's go ahead and run this down real quick. I was primarily a Xbox guy, right? I got my Xbox 360 in February of 2007. Right, I got it exactly on Valentine's Day, um, and I got it for Gears of War. That was a sole game that made me want to just go ahead and get an Xbox 360. Before then, I never owned a PlayStation 2, and leading up to the PS3's launch, I had absolutely no interest in the PS3 whatsoever. Right? I did own a PS1, but I pretty much only really played Tony Hawk games, Tekken, and Crash Bandicoot for the most part on the PS1. So I just didn't really care too much about the Sony games leading through the PS2's life cycle and going into the PS3's lifespan. So I got a 360, and I played a crap ton of Gears of War 1 and 2. I played Halo 3 a lot. So I played a vast majority of just strictly Xbox 360 between the years of 2007 and 2009. It wasn't until 2009, around Christmas time, where I got my PS3. My wife got it for me for Christmas, and she also got me a copy of, I want to say it was 2, Killzone 2 and Resistance 2, I believe. And those games actually made me turn around and look at the PS3 a lot more, right? I was actually a lot more open to playing the PS3's titles, because up until that point I was primarily just playing shooters, right? Which is evident with the what's the word I'm looking for? God damn it, the the acquisitions of Killzone 2 and Resistance 2. So, with getting the PS3, I decided to do a little bit more research on it, see what other games the PS3 had to offer, and I was pleasantly surprised with games like Infamous, as well as the Uncharted games. So, with that being said, I decided to play more of the PS3 than I did with the 360, because the PS3 was putting out more exclusives. And to be perfectly honest with you, in my opinion at the time, the PS3 was putting out more quality exclusives, right? Whereas the Xbox really only had the Halo games and the Gears of War games as their quality titles. I wasn't really too big of a fan of racing games, so I didn't really care too much for Forza. But yeah, man, the PlayStation had God of War, Uncharted, Resistance, Killzone, Infamous, just to name a few. Um, so from 2009 all the way up until 20. When did I get my PS? Was it 2013? Yeah, I think it was 2013 when I got my PS4. Um, I strictly was just Sony for the most part. You know, um, so when the PS4 and the Xbox One were announced, and I was looking through all the things that they had to offer, I settled on getting the PlayStation just because it would have more of the games that I wanted. It would have the Last of Us sequel. It would have the Uncharted sequel. If they did another God of War, it would have another God of War game. Also, Little Big Planet. another Infamous. It would have all of these games that I am particularly interested in, and many of them are of different genres. So my library would be pretty diverse on the PlayStation brand, whereas the Xbox brand didn't really have too much that suited my fancy. I think the one thing that caught my eye at first was Killer Instinct upon the announcement of the Xbox One, but seeing how the game played and then eventually, learning more about the game's mechanics before launch, I was just kind of like, oh god, this does not look like a fighting game that I could really get into. It's just too casual for my taste. So I opted not to get an Xbox One, you know? So that's pretty much my reason why I got the PS4 over the Xbox One. It's just that it had more of the stuff that I'm interested in. And personally, right now, I'm actually very happy with my choice with the PS4. Not to say that there's nothing coming out that won't make me want to buy an Xbox One. With the new Gears of War game that's announced and it's being worked on, if that turns out any good, that alone would be a reason enough to buy an Xbox One for me. You know what I mean? Gears of War was enough for me to buy a 360, so I'm pretty sure it would be enough to make me buy an Xbox One. But at the moment, there's nothing. Like Halo has completely changed to the point that it doesn't even look or feel like Halo anymore. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not really too big on racers. As good as the Forza games have gotten over the years, I'm just not too big on sim racers. And Forza Horizon just doesn't really suit my fancy either. So, yeah, man. Uh, Me getting an Xbox One is not completely out of the question, but as of right now, I just don't see anything on it that makes me want to go out and buy it. So, with that being said, man, that's pretty much all there is to it. No fanboyism here. I just go where my interests go, and right now, I am very interested in the PlayStation's library. So, yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What system did you get? If you have both, uh, you know, what made you just decide to get both at the time you did? And if you only have one, what games or reasons did you have for getting one over the other? And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.